Hi, I'm Sean Healy, and I'm from Hull, Massachusetts. I'm a trumpet player and the halftime conductor in the Boston College Screaming Eagles marching band. And this is ShowTime.
This week on ShowTime, we welcome Ken Casey of the Dropkick Murphys, take a trip across the pond to Ireland, get fit with the trumpets, make funnel cakes in our culinary corner, and gain insight into how drummers study. All that and more on tonight's episode of ShowTime.
Michael, I noticed you still weren't subscribed to the BCMB YouTube channel. What's that about?
I've just been really busy, man.
It's your show, man. You gotta make sure you're subscribed.
How do I subscribe?
You gotta just make sure you go down below, click that subscribe button, and click on the bell for notifications too. And welcome everybody else. I'm your host Matthew McCoy,
And I'm Michael Pelosi.
and we're delighted to have you join us for yet another episode of ShowTime, the weekly variety show presented by the Boston College Marching Band. Every Saturday, we explore classic and contemporary music and dance from the band, welcome special guests, introduce you to some of our members, and of course take you in a behind-the-scenes look into our program.
But first, we go to our reporter in the field, Chloe Andriana, to introduce our first segment.
Thank you, Michael. The Golden Eagles believe in spreading a little bit of sparkle wherever we go. Today we will be performing Don't Stop Believing.
I told you you should never, ever stop believing.
Yeah, but you were talking about Santa Claus, Michael. What?
Okay, all right. I will prove to you that Santa Claus exists. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get Santa Claus to talk to you. He will come over to my house and we'll have a chat.
Interesting. Well, anyway, this week we're taking a look at the Irish connection to the BCMB, from playing games at Celtics and at the TD Garden to traveling to Dublin, Ireland. Boston College has always had a strong connection with its Irish roots, and this is no more apparent than in our continued relationship with our featured guest this week. In the spirit of all things Irish, we would now like to welcome our longtime friend to the Screaming Eagles, Ken Casey.
Ken Casey is a founding member, lead vocalist, and bass player for the Boston Celtic punk band, the Dropkick Murphys. In addition to his work with the band, Casey is an avid hockey player and Bruins fan, and he did score the winning goal in the 2010 Boston Bruins Legends game. Casey also teamed up with Boston Bruins legend Bobby Orr to establish the Claddagh Fund, based on principles of friendship, loyalty, and love. In 2016, Casey and the Dropkick Murphys received the Robert F. Kennedy Children's Action Corps Embracing the Legacy Award for their work helping disadvantaged children and the military. Casey and his family currently reside in Hingham, Massachusetts. Ken Casey, welcome to the show. Yeah, first of all, it is so cool to get to talk to you. Just like watching all of your videos, listening to your stuff, and hearing about you in the Boston area. It's like you're like part of the culture here, and it's like really cool to talk to you. So thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Pleasure. Thanks for the kind words.
So the sound of the Dropkick Murphys, it's distinct. It has very strong Irish influences, but it's also, distinctly American. How did you develop your sound, and how has that kind of evolved over the years of the band?
So, truth be told, Dropkick Murphys was my first and only band I've ever been in. It started on a bet. I was going to UMass Boston and bartending at Symphony Hall, and a kid that worked with me there that went to Berkeley said, "You're always talking about starting a band. My band has a show in 3 weeks. I dare you to open for me." So we put together a band on a joke to win the bet, and on 3 weeks notice, and the rest is history. So like the sound wasn't something we thought about. It was just like this natural kind of, mix of our influences in our lives and probably our upbringings in terms of musical influence from the Irish side. And yeah, it's just the only sound that really could kind of come out of us, as far as the development of the sound, a little bit more towards the Celtic influence. That was always there. We just didn't have anyone that could play those instruments yet. There wasn't a lot of people in their early 20s at the time rolling around with mandolins and banjos. So it kind of seemed like, and even the bagpipes and stuff, we had friends that were like on the, on like the Cops or the Fires pipe and drums that would play on our albums for us, but they wouldn't tour with us. So we released those albums, and then eventually, I think as the sound became popular, kids were showing up at our shows, teenagers, early 20s, like, "Hey, you want me to join you on this song?" And and people so it went from a 4-piece to a 7-piece, and the sound obviously evolved. I mean, when you can add more melody like that, to any song, it's just such a fuller sound, such a more like attractive to people's ears that maybe aren't a punk rock fan too. They just, it's more hooky, it's more catchy, and it's so fun to play this style of music. But it's the only one I know, and it's the only one that I don't think I could be successful in. Like if this broke up and I said I'm going to start a jazz band, whatever it might be, I couldn't transition, because this is just what comes out of me from a songwriting perspective. With the way we started out, we were so hands-on. We released all our own albums. We would we printed our own T-shirts. We would have these little handmade, little drawing sketch designs of the T-shirts, and put them, when someone mail ordered for say a 7-inch single, we would put the catalog in, and and then they'd send back, and it was just such like a slow, steady. And I feel like in that day and age, when you had to mail, write a letter to someone and include your little money order, and wait for, the 3 weeks for us to get it and fulfill the order and write back, and we'd write a letter to them, and the fans stick to you, and I think that culture was built between the band and the fans that way. And then as we transitioned into the modern world of social media, and I think that maybe that attracted that fan base to kind of, maybe because we had something going that might be a little unique in terms of the way the band and the fans react to each other, and the mutual respect that in this modern age of like, oh, I like that song, but maybe I don't even know who it was because I just heard it and moved on. We were something different because we were more of a, more than just the music, more of a respect between band and fan that you don't see a lot,
Now we're going to take a quick look at one of our collaborations with the Dropkick Murphys.
We've had multiple opportunities to perform with the iconic Bostonian anthem, Shipping Up to Boston, as well as collaborate with the Dropkick Murphys on For Boston, of course, our fight song. This clip is just one of the many awesome performances that we've had with them throughout the years. Wow, that performance was quite the crowd pleaser, and we'll definitely be on the lookout for future experiences and more great collaborations to come.
But now, let's return back to our interview with our guest, Ken Casey. So I guess the big question is, how do you balance this with your band, your foundation, the Clatter Fund, and also your family too?
I think that it's a job. We look at it as something you got to put the work in. We never viewed it as like a talent that we were selling. We looked at it as work. I remember now we have our own rehearsal space, like in a warehouse that we have that's ours. But when we used to be back in those rehearsal complexes where there's 20 bands on every floor, we would rehearse at 7 a.m. And the guy who was the facility manager would just, every time we showed up, he would be like, what is going on here? No, never in the history of rock and roll has a band performed as practiced at 7 a.m. What are you doing? The reason people get into rock and roll is so they can sleep late. But, for us, we were kind of the music world made us feel like we were that it was like a lazy kind of, non-fulfilling. You know what I mean? We were raised to you better have a job and you better get there on time. And, having that early schedule made us feel like we were normal human beings, I suppose. And but and that's why the charity work is also became important to us, because it made being in a band, I guess I've always felt like being in a band can be like this self-indulgent kind of thing, and the charity work and forcing ourselves to get up extremely early seems to make it feel a lot more like a legitimate job. We started the Clatter Fund 12 years ago now, and we were always involved with a lot of social issues around the city, and we were kind of showing up and doing things with other people's events, and it was actually Bobby Orr who's such an inspiration, of how he carries himself and how much he's done for charity. And he said, hey, well, you need to start your own foundation, because you'll be able to kind of garner the energy of your fan base more, instead of us always saying, hey, support this, support that. It's we're the umbrella that can then support the other things that we're involved in. So it was the best advice I've ever been given, because the fans have really got behind it. And this Friday is our 11th annual charity golf tournament. A lot more stripped down this year because of COVID, but we're still able to do it. And I don't know, we've raised I think over $6 million in the 12 years, and most of that's not on corporate donations and things like that. It's us out having always having a table at our shows, and we do a ticket, we donate from every ticket, make the promoter do a match with us. So when we're on tour, we donate from the ticket and we get the promoter to match, and then we have the fan base buy in Clatter Fund t-shirts, or we do raffles every night. So yeah, it's a hustle, but once again, that has more depth to it than just saying, I'll take a couple of companies if they want to write fat checks, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't create the community, that the Clatter Fund has created, and allowing other people to be a part of it by donating or volunteering, or, maybe just buying a raffle ticket at some point. So, so it's given the whole thing. I think after the band is said and done, which inevitably will happen someday when our backs give out. Hopefully the work, the legacy of the band can continue through the Clatter Fund.
I just have one last thing. So at our football games, playing your song, it just gets everybody hyped, all the fans hyped. Shipping Up to Boston, that's like the anthem. Is there anything else you think could have that, game day kind of awesome, gritty feel that we can put into our books for the upcoming season?
Oh man, I've always thought, I don't know how it would translate just musically, but I always thought The Boys Are Back, one of our songs, something like that. Okay, good. And listen, we've got a new album we're ready to release as soon as touring can resume. So hopefully you'll like some of those and they'll sound good. But I've always thought that you guys nailed on music like nobody else, some others try, Notre Dame included, but you guys do it right, and we love you for that. Thank you for honoring us by including our music in your games.
Well, yeah, it is certainly like such an honor and such a pleasure to be able to do that. So thank you.
And we should really just talk really quickly about when we were opening for Aerosmith, and you came out to Great Woods, and Steven Tyler came out and saw us shipping up to Boston with the BC Marching Band, and he threw a fit because he said, "How am I going to top that?" I said, "We're on this little tiny spot that they gave us. Aerosmith has lights and all this stuff, but he put the fear of God into him when he saw the BC Marching Band on stage with us. So take that, Aerosmith."
Wow, it was so cool to be able to talk to Ken Casey.
Well, shipping is certainly one of my favorite shorties. And once again, everyone at home, make sure you visit www.cladoffund.org to learn more about his great foundation. Now let's move on to our next segment. And Michael, we all know how much of a physical commitment it is to be in the Boston College Marching Band. In fact, I've been using my very own Smart Bells routine over the last couple weeks to stay in shape. I don't know if you can see that right there. I don't know.
I am so sorry. Listen, if you really want to get in shape, this is what I do, okay? Drink raw eggs. Find some raw meat and just start going at it, And then I take the 128 steps up to main campus to, really get in shape for the season.
Isn't that just the Rocky training routine?
No, Matt. I get that a lot, but trust me, I was doing it long before the movie came out.
Oh.
But you know who else decided to copy me was one of our very own high brass people.
That's right, Michael, and not only has one particularly scrawny member been hitting the bags recently, but he's been doing it from the Conti steps all the way to Ken Casey's boxing gym Murphys, all to the tune of our favorite Italian stallion. Let's take a look. Wow, that was great. I really feel pumped to run up those stairs.
Well, you're in luck, Matt, because that would be the perfect thing to burn off this week's Culinary Corner with Lizzie Chen.
Now that you say that, I'd rather just have whatever she's cooking and not work out at all.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Culinary Corner. My name is Lizzie and today we're making some funnel cakes. Let's go! Alright, so what you need for the dough are milk, flour, salt, sugar, baking soda, and an egg. Now we're just whisking everything up to a smooth consistency. That is it for the dough. It's time to prepare the oil to about 350 Fahrenheit. Using a funnel or ladle, carefully pour your mixture in a random pattern to cover the whole pot. Flip after around 2 minutes. Of course, toppings are up to you. I'm sifting some powdered sugar and decorating with some strawberries. Last but definitely not least is ice cream. And there you go. It's too good. The funnel cakes are crispy and the texture pairs so well with the crunch from my cookie ice cream. Well, thank you so much for making funnel cakes with me today, and happy game day.
Oh, thank you again. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Well, man, these funnel cakes are so good.
I know, Lizzie never fails with her culinary creations, and I'll definitely need to make some more.
Oh, but as good as these funnel cakes are, we should probably move on to our next segment.
Yeah, probably.
Next up, we will be following the band across the pond to the Emerald Isle. That's right, folks. We are going to Ireland.
Let's take a look at and a listen at some of the band's international adventures.
Let's have a welcome, please, for the Boston College Screaming Eagles Marching Band.
I got a joke. Okay. What did the drummer get on their IQ test?
Not sure. I don't know.
Mostly drool.
Oh, ooh, that's a good one.
But that's not the case with our very own Screaming Eagles Drumline, who are just as gifted intellectually as they are musically.
Now let's take a sneak peek at how our drummers just do so well and how they study.
I do not know how I'd get anything done with those guys. I think I'd just be too busy rocking out.
Maybe they're just super serious during their sectionals just to compensate for it. I don't know. But we're all familiar with many daytime television hosts who keep us company when we're at home sick as kids and have literally nothing else to watch.
From Maury to Jerry to Judge Judy, they've always developed deep in people's lives and gotten to the heart of some very serious issues.
And now there's a new daytime television host, Michael, around the block here, and he is truly getting into the relevant issues for some of our band members.
That's right. We now go live to the studio of none other than Dr. Dave.
Our daughter is completely out of control and we're worried about her future.
She's up all night playing her trumpet, always on that thing from sunrise to sunset. We try to get her to come out for dinner, but she refuses to leave her room for anything.
We're starting to get really worried. Last night we went in and tried to help get her instrument away, but on her laptop,
We saw an application to join a marching band. That was the moment we knew we had nowhere else to go. We had to talk to Dr. Dave.
So, Alyssa, you love music. What instrument do you play?
The trumpet, sir.
The trumpet, and you enjoy playing the trumpet.
Very much, sir.
Well, from what I understand, it seems you're intending on joining the Boston College Screaming Eagles marching band. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm starting as a freshman in the fall, and I think it's a great opportunity for me to make new friends and continue to grow my passion for music.
That seems reasonable to me. Now, for everyone at home, backstage a couple minutes before we started shooting, I wanted to get a deeper feeling for Alyssa's musical talent and her parents' animosity towards it. Things got a little tense, passions were running high, and it gets a little bit out of hand, but it's important you all see this. Here's the tape.
Dr. Dave, are you even going to do anything? She's completely out of control.
Yeah. Are you even trying to help us? Wait, are you even a doctor?
Ma'am, I have a PhD in philosophy. I'm basically Tony Fauci. Sorry you all had to see that. After re-watching that video and speaking to you all, I think I know how to remedy this situation. I'm going to personally pay for Alyssa to attend Boston College to pursue her music dreams. And as for you two, you were state mandated to attend 3 of your daughter's football games. I hope seeing and hearing Alyssa will open your eyes. Hey y'all, it's been a couple months since the taping of this episode with an update. I'm here with Alyssa, Sean, and Daria at Boston College. Sean and Daria have attended the first 3 games and love the music so much that they became season ticket holders and are here every Saturday. Alyssa is as happy as can be playing her trumpet in the band, and the whole family is something they want to share.
We love the Boston College Marching Band. Thanks, Dr. Dave!
And join us next week when I sit down with a convict who is currently serving time for the illegal trading of instruments and the woman who put him there. See you then.
We are now going to our historic halftime show. Last year, we got the chance to perform with the Boston Irish dance team in our one-of-a-kind performance for our Centennial. Let's take a look at one of our most memorable performances in Alumni Stadium.
right, now we'd like to take a moment to get to know another one of our seniors, Catherine Kelleher.
Catherine is an economics major from Cromwell, Connecticut. Aside from band, Catherine is a part of the Italian club and also dances with our Golden Eagles dance team during the spring semester.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Kelleher and I'm a senior in the mellophone section. When I think back on my time here at Boston College, all of my best memories go back to this organization, from traveling to Dallas to New York City, to finding some of my best friends who ultimately become my roommates, to playing with the Boston Pops, to singing Amazing Grace before every game day, and so many more. One of my favorite memories, though, has to be last fall, when we celebrated the band's Centennial, where we got to share the field with so many alumni, including two very special people to me, my brother Aaron and my uncle Jeff. Hearing them talk so highly of their time with the band is what inspired me to join and experience that love for myself. Over the past 4 years, I've grown so much as a person and learned so much about myself and my love for music that never would have been possible if I never joined the marching band. Although this season is different than the previous 3 I've had, I'm so grateful to be part of this unique time for the band and see how this influences the future of the organization. Thank you for giving me the best memories and the best of friends, BCMB.
Thank you to all the members of the BCMB who made this episode possible, including our many audio and video teams, writing committees, set designers, marketing and graphics teams, and everybody else helping us along the way. Special thanks to Ken Casey for setting aside some time for our interview, the dance team for reminding us to never, ever stop believing, the high brass section for showing their section spirit, Lizzie Chen for her culinary corner, and Catherine Kelleher for our senior spotlight. And of course, thank you to our viewers for watching the Irish episode of ShowTime.
And don't worry, because we're going to be having a lot more content coming to you over the next couple weeks. So be sure to tune in on October 31st, that's Halloween, for a very special and spooky episode of ShowTime. It'll definitely be a thriller of a show with multiple spooky dance segments, clips from our favorite horror films, and a very special guest from a galaxy far, far away. You'll certainly not want to miss it.
And to make sure you don't miss any single episode of ShowTime, be sure to click and subscribe. Feel free to follow us at BC Marching Band for updates and content. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. And remember, go Eagles! In 2016, Casey and the Dropkick Murphys received the Robert F. Kennedy Children's Action Corps. Yeah, we should probably move on.
Yeah, I think so.
Ha! Just keep on rolling. Just keep on rolling.
I know, Lizzie never fails to disappoint with her culinary creations.
Mm-hmm.